Yesterday, Matt Lieberman and the rest of his team at Sourcefed released a video detailing the evidence that Google has been manipulating search results to make Hillary Clinton look like a more positive figure, to hide evidence of the things people might want to find out about that don't make her look all that good. It was an incredibly detailed video, and it showed that basically when you start to search Hillary Clinton and then other words, you will only get, more often than not, positive results. So if you do Hillary Clinton space IND, instead of an indictment coming up, which comes up when you do that same thing with Bing and Yahoo, it'll be India or Indiana. And they found that for a number of different terms. On the other search engines, negative things will come up because that's what people are actually searching for. On Google, they do not. Now, that could be flawed analysis in a couple of different ways, but thankfully they went a couple of steps further and they found that the things that should be coming up were actually searched for more, but instead the things that did come up, like India, Indiana, were not searched nearly as often. They're not organically showing up in the results as a result of people being interested in them. They're showing up for some other reason. And you might say, well, maybe they're just trying to protect political candidates. But no, when you look for negative things about Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump, those things show up, the bad things. So it's a great video. They go into great detail. Matt breaks down the entire situation, and I've linked to the video. But I want to talk about what we should do going forward based on this, because I find their results quite compelling. Now, I understand that it is going to be extremely difficult, probably impossible, to get Google to actually comment on this, certainly to own up for what they have done, especially when you consider that some of the leadership of Google is tied in with groups that are assisting Hillary Clinton in her presidential campaign. I'm not going to detail all of that evidence, but it is there. There are many ties in terms of employees that have worked for both sides. So there's an obvious conflict of interest there. The problem, as Matt pointed out in his video, is that currently, even if they are doing that, and even if they're doing it specifically to help out Hillary Clinton, whether she or her campaign know it or not, that isn't actually illegal. And that is the problem right there. Now, Google is just a company. They have a service, and services like search engines, forums, and things of that sort, comment sections like our videos, they're able to be controlled in various ways. I can allow you to type anything I want in the comment section, or I can strictly control it. Google can control what appears there or doesn't appear there as well. That's the freedom that we have. People have a misperception about what freedom of speech actually means. It doesn't apply to private ventures like this. So Google has that right. But in the same way that recently there was a discussion about a week ago about how Mark Zuckerberg is actually the leader, a dictator of one of the largest countries in the world, Facebook, Google is not just some company. It's not just a forum. It is a universal tool that almost everyone uses, whether they know it or not. Very frequently, the search tool in apps and people's phones and things like that, the automatic search tool will be Google. They may not even know that that's what they're using. We're almost obligated at this point to use Google, and Google is using us in a way. There's academic research showing that if you conceal the bad information about a candidate in search results, if you only show positive results, people are more likely to vote for them. And so you can bet that that has happened over the course of this election. Now, is that enough to have swayed the result between her and Bernie Sanders? Probably not. But to the extent that they can sway the results, it looks like they have. Should they be allowed to do that? Is it possible for an app or a website to become so big, so pervasive, that it needs to have stricter scrutiny in terms of how it's manipulating us? When Facebook manipulates the news, when Google manipulates search results, that has real-world consequences that we may not even be aware of. And so I turn it to you. What should be done? Should anything goes continue? Should Google, as a private company, be allowed to do whatever it wants, or Facebook do whatever it wants, whatever Mark Zuckerberg wants it to do? Or should there be stricter scrutiny when we're talking about the future of our society, the future of our government? When should a line be drawn? Let me know what you think.